Hey guys, welcome back to Random Thoughts. Haven't done one of these in a really long time, and I definitely do know the reasons why. I've been pulling away from humanity, society quite a lot in recent times, and the majority of the reasoning is very simply that I don't see a lot of unity or love in the world, and it is difficult to take all of that in. And just watching and reading the comments and the message boards and seeing people just be deliberately hateful to each other. Everyone acts like, I know better than you. You're stupid because you don't understand the way that things the way that I do, and we're just so far off base. Uh, it's hard to stomach. It's truly hard to stomach, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my soul in ways that I don't know how to heal. So I'm trying to find my place and find where I can live in this world, and what kind of I guess attitude and persona I can wear about it that make me fit into a space where I can still be myself, because I by nature am just a person that loves people for their differences and for who they are, no matter who they are, no matter what they do. Um, and a lot of that I can relate to the spiritual teachings of Jesus. Had a lot of conversations about Christianity, and every time I don't say Christianity. I've had a lot of conversations about the life of Christ and the life of Jesus and who he was and how he led people, and it was beautiful. And I grew up in the church the majority of my young life, probably until the time I was 20, I guess. I don't know. I definitely called myself a Christian, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions surrounding that. One thing that I notice is when I talk to others about religion and note that I don't call myself a Christian, the first response that I get from Christians is, well, there's a myriad of ways that this goes, but they're all very similar. Talking to me as if I don't know anything about the Bible, like I've never read it or anything about it, like I've never been to church, like they need to inform me, like they need to save me. Look, there's a big difference between following the teachings of Christ and being somebody that goes to church, okay? Like, I have a big problem with organized religion. And that's something that I've seen affect people that I love and care about very recently. And it just continues. This is Kat. She would like to say hello. Okay. No, that's out of the way. It breaks my heart the way that I see these religious institutions treat each other, and it's used so vastly, like because now we have Christian nationalism showing up at the picture, and like very simply, it's just a large way to control mass amounts of people, and that's exactly how they use it. They weaponize Christianity. I'm a believer in Christ. I'm a follower of Christ. I love Jesus. I love his teachings. I love the work he did as a prophet. I love the way that he lived his life. And it's not complex. Jesus said, love everybody. Judge not, yes, lest ye be judged. Like, because it's not our job to judge other people. It's not our job to tell other people how to live their lives. That's God's work. And when we do God's work for him, we take his name in vain. Like, spreading a message is one thing, but condemning people or making people feel shitty is a completely different thing, and it's heartbreaking to watch. And it's just another piece of the puzzle of all of the division that we see in the world and all of the division we've been seeing in the world. And there's just plenty of it. There's not enough love. There can never be too much love. And if we focused on just accepting people and loving people, you know what? How much better could the world be? And I'll say it until I'm blue in the face and dead in the ground, but I just refuse to criticize, and I refuse to laugh at other people, laugh at their opinions, act like I know better, act like my way is right. And you know what? The founding of America agrees with me. This was not a nation where we were built on Christianity. And I hear this argument all the damn time, but quite honestly, like, we were trying to escape religious oppression in England and heavy taxation in England, and that's the reason we came to this land in the first place, right? Was to escape religious prosecution. So here we are now, 250 years later. Happy fucking birthday. Just looking at where we're at now, where we're at today. Like, would our founding fathers be proud of how we have used and lived our lives with the rights that they fought and died for? Like, we fought for freedom. We fought to be independent. We fought for a life that anybody could be whoever they want to be and live their life peacefully. And it's all of these different, like America is beautiful because of the aspect that we are built on the foundation of many different cultures, many different types of people came here and lived cohesively as one, and they all allowed each other to be who they were. And if you don't like somebody, then stay away from them. Like, it's really that simple. But we don't get to make up how other people live their lives. And if we're trying to say this is the American way and it's only one way, if you don't like it, leave. For one, if you don't like it, leave is incredibly anti-American. Like, we are here to be whoever we want to be. Like, you have the right. You are welcome here. This is the way that it's supposed to be. As long as you go through the process and you gain your citizenship, that you can be who you want to be here. Like, it's all written out in the Constitution. I love our Constitution very much, very, very deeply. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to be an American that stands on the principles of our foundation. All that to say, it's just the division of the world is heartbreaking, and there's so much of it around every single corner, and we just need a serious influx of love. I mean, we've got to find a way to come together, because this world, this country, the makeup of all of it doesn't work if we don't. I was on the Christianity spectrum, yeah. So the thing that bothers me about conversations with Christians is that it seems as though those that follow Christianity specifically believe that they have a monopoly on the Word of God. And it's just not the case. There are plenty of ways to follow Christ. There's plenty of ways to live through the teachings of Jesus and not identify yourself to a religious institution that has immense amounts of power. Because now, with this religious takeover, with this Christian nationalism, I will use the term again, it's turning into a world, it's turning into a country where if you don't believe the ways that they believe, that you are wrong. And you're not just wrong, you're evil. Like, it's just not the way that Jesus lived. And I can't fathom treating my neighbor, treating people near me, treating people around me, or even saying things to them that I know is going to disturb their peace, and say that those kinds of things are of God. Jesus taught us to love each other, to love one another, to love everyone, to give grace, to show kindness. Kindness was one of his biggest teachings. It's in the book many times. Like, read the book. Plenty of people preach. Plenty of people have messages, and that's the problem with the institutions. Is it's one thing to study the book and make your own assessment, and it's a complete other thing to go to these places and hear these people talk and hear these people preach and have them tell you what's right, what's wrong, who's right, who's wrong. And it's... Christ is beautiful, okay? And so are the teachings, and I love religion in general. There are many positive teachings that came from many prophets over the course of time, and they all played a part in building the religious institution that we have today, and the idea of religion, the connection we have with God, spirit, collective consciousness, whatever it may be. They're all one and the same, and there are many different ways to reach and achieve a relationship with God. And I guess that's my soapbox. That's where I've been at. Love people, man. I'm beat down about it. I'm beat down about all of it. It's tough to see all of the hate in the world. And, if you like what I say, hate what I say, you want to talk about it, you want to have a discussion about it, I'm more than happy to do that as somebody that is versed in the Bible and I don't revere myself as a Christian. I call myself a spiritualist. Look it up if you want to. You want to talk to me about that? That's fine too. If you think that for some reason that's of the devil, then, pick up some books. And I'm happy to have that conversation with you. But love each other, man. Love people. Give people love. Give people kindness. If you want to be a follower, if you want to lead people, if you want to help them find good ways to live, if you want to help bring people together, Christ was the ultimate unifier, and that's exactly what he's meant to do. He's not meant to separate, he's not meant to divide. And America is heading down a dangerous path with this. Because when you use the religious institution of God, when you use the name of God to divide people and to separate them, you are taking his name in vain. And that's a damn commandment, okay? Like, there are some things that I hear people make a really big deal about that aren't even in the top list. There are plenty of ways to disappoint God. You know, kind of like the law about carrying an ice cream cone in your back pocket on a Sunday. That's illegal in plenty of places. What other charges are on the same level of that? Is it the same level of charge as murdering a man? No. There are many things we all do in our daily lives. But I believe in the list that they gave us, there were a handful of things that you just don't do. There were a handful of sins that were deadly. You know, very, very specific about those kinds of things. So, but one thing that Jesus was always specific about was loving everybody, showing kindness to everybody, showing grace to everybody, helping them lead the way. But people got to want to be led to the water before they can want to drink it. And one thing I can tell you, and this is something way back in the days, several years ago when all the protests were coming up, I had a lot of close friends that were going to all these protests. And there was one thing that wasn't always well received that I would tell them, and the fact is, you don't get through to people. They're not going to gain their respect, they're not going to listen to you, they're not going to change your mind. You don't change anyone's mind by yelling your opinion in their fucking face. That is the surest way to lose your followers. It's the surest way to lead people away from the word. It's just not kind. The world needs love. Jesus wanted us to love. So let's love each other. Let's teach each other how to love. Let's learn from each other. It's okay. It's okay to fall. By his grace, we may all come together again. And we may lead each other to a better future. And if you believe so, the promised land. But I'm alive on earth today. In this very moment, I know that I exist, and this is here I am, and this is all that I am. So this moment's what I'm worried about. And if this moment I can love you and tell you that I love you and I can show you kindness, then that's what I want to use this moment for, because here I am today. So, and if you need to talk, if you're having a hard time in life, reach out. Happy Father's Day. I don't have a father, so these days affect me a little bit differently. And if you don't have a father, if your father passed away recently and you want to talk to somebody that can understand that kind of stuff, reach out to me for those reasons too. That's all I got on this one. Much love. Thank you all for hearing me. If you sat through this long, and please, by all means, start a discussion with me. One thing I don't tolerate is anybody being just cruel. I'm here to have kind discussions, and I'm here to be an adult about the way that we conduct our conversations. And if you're going to call people names, if you're going to smack laugh reacts on their comments, on their opinions, you're a cruel human being. It's just not the way that we treat each other, and it's not very kind. And I don't agree with those things. So please keep that shit the fuck out of my comments. And if you don't like that, feel free to delete me. You know? I don't want you to. I love having a very diverse group of friends. I love everybody that is different, and that all creates a lot of perspective for me, and understanding the perspectives of other people is one of my favorite ways to become close to them and continue growing myself as an individual in this world, because there are so many people that we can learn from, and the majority of them are very different from who we are. And that's how I learn the most, trying to understand people that are different from me, trying to walk a day in their shoes and understand what motivates them, what gives them hope, what gives them brings them happiness. What do they look for in their lives, and how can I understand better people that are different from me, and how can I understand to love people that are different from me, because love is the universal language. It's one thing everybody understands. You can walk up to anybody, no matter what they look like, or what they've been through, or what they sound like, or what they talk like, or what they wear, and if you give them a hug and it's from your heart and they are willing to receive it, that is a language that has no barriers, and it's the only one that I'm interested in speaking in my days. And if you put a gun to my head and my life is on the line, and all I have to do to save it is be cruel to somebody that doesn't deserve it, watch me die in the street. And watch me do it with pride. And with love. I love all of you. Hit me up. Talk to me.